What's going on, YouTube? It's Sensei and place to be chilling, Mr. A&E back to give you guys another Smackdown, Friday Night Smackdown review from May 29th, 2020. So, here's what's been going on with the Nerd Coalition real quick. I've announced this in all my wrestling videos today, and I'm going to announce it today. The Nerd Coalition, after what's been happening in the world, coronavirus and the death of George Floyd, all this stuff, we decided we going to take a break from all this stuff, our mental and stuff like that. We did not give you guys a podcast this past weekend of Nerdgasm or No Gimmicks Needed. I mean, all the stuff you've seen from the NetherRealm Studios weekend was all scheduled stuff. So that all was already scheduled to come out anyway. If it wasn't scheduled, we wouldn't have put it out. So, when it comes to, this is why you're getting the SmackDown review late, and then also we participated in the Blackout Tuesday, so the day to reflect. And now, we're back now. This is where you're getting this Friday Night SmackDown review, and the NXT and AEW reviews and all wrestling reviews, and then throughout this week you're going to get the reactions and gameplay videos and all this stuff back to normal, and the podcasts of course. But I just wanted to get that out there, let you know where SmackDown review and the Raw review has been. So like I said, I have people, so my other team, use the Twitter and Instagram a lot for me, stuff like that, but I don't get on there too much. But so we start off SmackDown, and another thing I have to talk about is how uncomfortable SmackDown started off. We didn't start off with a regular show. We started off with Mae Young in the back, and she was interviewing. There was obviously a car crash. We see the car up on the road. We see Elias is laid out, and the paramedics is wrapping up Elias, taking him to the hospital. Clearly, he was hit by this car. And then she's talking to Braun Strowman in street clothes, who's like another member of Duck Dynasty. And he was, he was shot. He just pulled up and he didn't know what was going on. But they open up the car and they see an alcohol bottle. They say they see somebody in a black shirt and black pants running from the scene. And then as the police are searching, we see, come over to the bushes. We see Jeff Hardy is in the bushes. And they say he reeks of alcohol. He was disoriented. He didn't know where he was. And the cops arrested Jeff Hardy, assuming that he was driving drunk, and then hit Elias. Number one, Jason Jordan is back. We get a cameo from Jason Jordan coming out in the producer role with the suit on. Haven't seen Jason Jordan since the beginning of 2018, I want to say it is. Been a long time for me since Jason Jordan. Actually, I miss Jason Jordan. What the run would have been like if Jason Jordan had not got injured. But anyway, here's my issue with this. Jeff Hardy still got a court date coming up for his intoxication, and when people have, substance abuse problems, I don't know if it's a good idea to do storylines like this so close to home. I get it; it gets the fans involved, and Vince likes to get the fans involved. Get the realism so it can make for good storytelling. But the same thing with Rhino, the same thing with CM Punk, The same thing with those people that fight these abuses, even Kurt Angle. You don't put them in these kind of matches in these situations. And I understand, like I said, you're trying to get the raise. It started off in a way I didn't expect to do it. If Jeff Hardy signed off on this, by all means, fine. But if he didn't, then that's really insensitive, and that's really a problem. And it could cause worse issues for people as well. So, We get into SmackDown, then we get backstage, and we get a bunch of superstars, from King Corbin to Sheamus to Drew Gulak, who's back, Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Jey Uso, Dolph Ziggler, just to name, even Shorty G is back there. And we have an issue because now we have the Intercontinental Championship tournament. Cesaro's, Nakamura's all back there, and we don't know what's going to happen now because, Elias is supposed to take on AJ Styles. And now Elias has been taken out. And then Jeff Hardy was supposed to be taking on Daniel Bryan. Well, Jeff Hardy's been arrested. So what do you do? So AJ Styles said, well, look, it should just be me versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. And then, that should be it. The finals, so I can become new Intercontinental Champion. And then Daniel Bryan says, no, I feel as though that we have more people here that wants a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. These two spots should be filled, and we should have a match. AJ Styles said, that's just stupid. Now, obviously, he's being the heel, but he kind of got a point. If I got to buy, why put my buy? I earned this opportunity. So far, you earned this opportunity. We can just go for the belt right now. And then challenge somebody else later. But right now, you're putting your shot at risk by just giving people a match to be noble. But I understand Daniel Bryan wants to be the guy who, is the good guy. So there was this personnel backstage. Didn't know who this personnel was. Said, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a battle royal. Ain't seen a battle royal in a long time. And the battle royal is going to consist of literally everybody I just mentioned that was backstage at the time. And the winner is going to go on and face Daniel Bryan. And the winner of that match is going to go face AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship. And AJ Styles, because AJ Styles still going to get his bye week. So, because AJ Styles told Daniel Bryan after everything was over, was like, that was stupid, right? So we kick off SmackDown with like the 10-man battle royal with all the names I mentioned that was backstage before. So we get the elimination and stuff like that. The match was pretty decent. It was great to see Chad Gable back into the mix. So Chad Gable, as he's going, he does the old school Voldemort eliminating Big Show from 2004's Royal Rumble, and then he gets Cesaro out the ring, and then he belly to belly Shinsuke Nakamura over the top rope. But then Nakamura distracts referees, and Cesaro comes and gives Chad Gable a Stone Cold from 1997 Royal Rumble and tosses out Chad Gable, even though he's already been eliminated. So, but this time, he's acting like he doesn't know what's happening. That Chad Gable is getting pissed that the referees didn't see the actions that Cesaro did. So now this just leaves Sheamus and Jey Uso. Never seen Jey Uso in singles action really before. So Jey Uso and Sheamus are battling on the apron. Jey Uso goes for a super kick. Sheamus takes his foot and throws him right into the ring apron and gives him a bro kick. And then Sheamus is your winner, and he's going to go on to face Daniel Bryan, which he still got a great rivalry anyway, in the main event to see who's going to face AJ Styles. So that's how SmackDown started off. I thought SmackDown was pretty cool. Started off like that. Like I said, if Jeff Hardy was on board with this, then fine, by all means, be good with it. But if not, whatever the case may be. We get Lacey Evans taking on Sonya Deville. So this matchup I thought was pretty decent. Also, these women are kind of mixed well as well. Lacey Evans got down on her all fours, to say that Sonya get the first wrestling move to try to out wrestle her and everything, and they do a little scrapping. Meanwhile, they go to the outside and they both start fighting on the outside. They both get a double count out. So this rivalry's not over. Lacey tells her to get back into the ring, but then Sonya Deville says, "I fight on my own terms, Blondie." The Forgotten Sons have a promo, and the less said, the better. We go into a moment of bliss with the New Day, with their talk about tag team champions, and then of course Alexa Bliss said they crossed the women's tag team champions. New Day supporting the Shad armbands because of Shad, who passed away last week as well. Then Sasha and Bayley come out and talk about some. You're talking about the great tag teams out here, but you're not talking about the best tag team we have between me and Sasha. And then Alexa Bliss and then Sasha has a hand of bandana on for the wrestler who unfortunately committed suicide last week as well. So there's a lot of representation in this ring. And then Alexa Bliss said, Sasha, I see 4 championships. I see everybody has a championship, but where's your championship? And then Sasha gets all pissed by that, and then Bayley cuts her off and says, you know what? You don't have to talk to Sasha like that. Sasha says, we the ones who made those tag team championships. If it wasn't for me and Bayley, there wouldn't be no women's tag team championships, which she's pretty right. So then Bayley says, for running your mouth, you're going to have to take on my friend Sasha Banks right now in a matchup. So Sasha clearly was not ready to do a matchup. She's really not in the right ring clothes to do a match. But then, hey, it's Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks in a matchup. And the match was okay. It wasn't like, Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks has had better matches. And then I thought the match, went kind of quick. Alexa Bliss knocks Sasha down. She tries to go for the Twisted Bliss. But then Bayley gets up and then tries to knock her off. But then Nikki Cross gets up there to try to stop Bayley. Bayley pushes Nikki Cross into Alexa Bliss, which knocks her down. Sasha gives her the double knees right to the back of the head, then does a springboard, sit down, sunset flip on Alexa Bliss, and wins the match. Sasha Banks wins the match like the first time in, 8 months. So Sasha wins the matchup, and like I said, it was a quick matchup. I didn't expect Sasha to win the match because they've been doing Sasha dirty when it comes to matches, and I was just like, okay, finally she wins one. So then Chad Gable, who is pissed off with what Cesaro did, he's like, I want to challenge Cesaro to a matchup. So we get Chad Gable taking on Cesaro one-on-one in a matchup. Now, this was a good match. First of all, I'm glad to see Gable back in action. I was like, where has he been? They didn't have nothing for him to do or anything, but him and Cesaro got some good chemistry. They had a good match. Shinsuke Nakamura is at ringside. Chad Gable, he goes for an ankle lock on Cesaro. He gets a roll up on Cesaro and beats Cesaro by a quick roll up. So this is not done yet between Gable or Cesaro, but it was a good matchup by the two. He's probably going to get Nakamura next week, so that'll probably be a good matchup. We get a segment where now it's if anybody has seen the movie, was it Fast Times at Piedmont High? I think it was. They do a skit from there. Otis and Mandy Rose. They're sitting at the pool. Otis has the money in the bank. They have a nice day off, and then Otis and Mandy Rose are sitting there, and then they're having the fruit, and she says, "I'm a little tired, so Otis is gonna go into the pool, and then she's gonna just take a nap." So they do a dream sequence of her seeing Otis in all these sexy ways, like he's in the pool, the water's coming down his body and everything like that, and then he's coming up from up the pool, like not special anything, and she's just all turned on by this. And then she sees them two over there kissing by the pool, and then she squirts the suntan lotion bottle and everything. So I was like, I didn't think they was really going to go there because WWE hasn't done that kind of content in a while. So she does that, and then Otis says "Cannonball," goes in there, splashes the water, and splashes all over Mandy Rose. He says, "I'm sorry for messing up your nap," but then she says it's quite all right. So she comes in there and joins him. And then she starts making out with Otis and says, "Oh yeah," and then goes back to make out with Otis to the point. I'm just like, you know what? They selling this good because if I'm just looking at it, I'm just like, I'm swearing Mandy Rose and Otis is a couple, straight up couple. I'm just like, Mandy Rose got a boyfriend back at home, and I'm just like, if I was a boyfriend, jealous. Okay, I'm just like, yo man, you better back up off of it. But it was a good segment. I like the Otis and Mandy Rose stuff. Don't know where this is going. I don't even know if this is going to turn into like a Jamie Noble Nydia thing. That would be crazy. That would be crazy if this joint turned into a Jamie Noble Nydia thing. But I don't know what's the end game, how far they're going to go with this. And maybe because they fired the lady who wrote the story, saying they probably don't know how to end the story. Because you don't want to make Otis seem like a dick and let go of Mandy Rose. But then you don't want to see Mandy Rose seem the same way because like I said, she's doing good in this face role when Sonya Deville is the heel. So with that being said, I just thought it was a very interesting segment that they did. Now we get a new member to the SmackDown roster introduced by Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle is bringing out, or he's not bringing out, but he's announcing that Matt Riddle is coming to SmackDown. Good pick. Matt Riddle at SmackDown with that roster is good. Matt Riddle and Nakamura, Matt Riddle and AJ Styles, Matt Riddle and Daniel Bryan, Matt Riddle and Dolph Ziggler. All these Matt Riddle combinations I think will work best for him on SmackDown. I think SmackDown can use him. Of course, he's on the main roster now, so he better do his best not to crack his ankle or roll his ankle because they're going to Rusev him and put boots back on him. Matt Riddle don't do boots. He don't. So he won't even look right with boots on anyway. He's like that MMA fighter, so he's not going to look right with boots anyway. So Matt Riddle coming to SmackDown, good hype package. I'm excited for him. Don't know when he's coming. So his last match was at NXT in that Fight Pit match, which was a good matchup. So I'm happy to see Matt Riddle come to NXT. Main event time, Sheamus takes on Daniel Bryan. The winner is going to face AJ Styles to see who's going to be the new Intercontinental Champion. Good matchup by these two. I don't think it lasts too much longer because as Sheamus was trying to go for the bro kick, Jeff Hardy comes out. And you just see Jeff Hardy come out still like he's kind of stumbling a little, disoriented a little bit. He comes out and looks at Sheamus. Sheamus looks at Jeff Hardy, gets distracted, goes running right into a running knee by Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan wins the matchup. Then after the match, Jeff Hardy comes in and beats down on Sheamus as they have a brawl for a little bit and break them up. And then that's how SmackDown ends. So I thought SmackDown gets a passing grade from me this week. SmackDown usually don't get passing grades from me because SmackDown usually be trash, but SmackDown this week gets a passing grade from me. So you post out in the comments down below how'd you guys like Friday Night SmackDown. I enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed this review. and hit the subscribe button for more WWE content right here on Nerd Coalition as we get back on track. So once again, this is NCN Place to Be, Channel Train Mr. A&D, and Nerd Coalition is out.